Looking back on everything I've been through, I realized it all started with fear. When I first got my driver's license, I was scared to drive on the road. When I started my first job, I was terrified of giving presentations. When I led a team for the first time, I was afraid of making decisions. Before I'd ever been in a relationship, I was afraid to make the first move. Before I started a business, I was afraid to begin. Before I ever invested, I was afraid to make the call. Back then, I thought what I lacked was courage. I believed that once I had enough courage, everything would start feeling easy. But as I got older, I didn't become braver. If anything, I became more cautious. That's when I realized something. A lot of what we call courage is really just competence built through repetition. The first time you do anything, you're stepping into the unknown, and the unknown is like walking into thick fog. You can't predict the outcome, you can't judge the risks, and you have no idea whether you will be able to handle whatever happens. So feeling nervous, anxious, or wanting to back away isn't weakness. It's a completely normal human response. The first time I drove, my foot was literally shaking on the brake pedal. But the 10th drive, then the 100th, there wasn't a traffic jam I couldn't confidently merge into. I get a lot of messages from people sharing their frustrations, disappointments, and self-doubt. Maybe they failed a job interview, failed an exam, messed up an important presentation. My reply is almost always the same. You're not incapable, and you're definitely not unintelligent. You just haven't practiced enough. Because once you've done something 10 times or 100 times, so many of those unexplained fears simply disappear. Not because you've suddenly become stronger, but because you've seen it before. You've experienced awkward silence and realized it isn't the end of the world. You've been rejected and discovered that life goes on. You failed and learned that you can still get back up and keep living. A lot of people call this growth, but I think it's really a process of demystification. We often talk about taking illusion away from perfection, but maybe what we really need to demystify is fear. The people who seem calm, relaxed, and confident aren't necessarily born that way. They've simply experienced more failure, more awkward moments, more rejection, and more imperfection. That's why the biggest difference between people often isn't ability. It's sample size. Different experiences create different mindsets. Some people have gone through 100 interviews. Others have only done 3. Some have talked to hundreds of clients. Others are still hesitating before speaking up for the very first time. Before we've experienced something, it's easy to imagine it's impossibly difficult. But once you actually step into it, you realize that the things that once kept you awake at night are just ordinary moments in a very long life. Once you stand up and step in, you realize the water was shallow all along. Looking back on my own journey and listening to so many other people's stories, I've come to believe that many of life's most important abilities aren't talents you are born with, or even things you are taught. They are built through repetition. Communication is practiced, public speaking is practiced, leadership is practiced, even confidence itself is practiced. You don't act because you are confident. You become confident because you've done it enough times. So don't worry if you're struggling right now. When you're in the middle of the process, you can't see the results yet. You're not incapable. You just haven't practiced enough. I've never believed in luck. I believe in cycles. What people call good luck is often just years of preparation finally entering the harvest season. But every harvest season is temporary. Soon enough, another season of planting and building begins. And this time, I am already waiting for it. Thanks for watching this video. I'm Yu. Follow me for more to level up your mind.